Hi, my name is Elijah and I would like to show you how to install a Windows instance on AWS. Now, to install Windows instance on AWS, you have to go to AWS website, which is this one. If you don't know where the website is, you can ask Mr. Google AWS and you'll be able to find this website. So as you can see, it is aws.amazon.com. Now you need to go to AWS console so that you're able to create an account with AWS, or you log into your AWS account. Now for me, I already have an account with AWS, so what I need to do is to just log in with my my details. Now when you click login, I'm a root user because I opened up this account, so it's what I use. I click next, and then I have to put my password. So my password is already saved on file, so I will select it and then sign in. Now as we wait to the system to log me in, you need to know that if you're signing up for AWS account, you must make sure you have a credit card, because AWS uses that credit card information to verify your account to make sure you are a legit person, and you're going, so that they sign you up with their services. It's a prerequisite, it's a requirement that you have that credit card information with you. If you don't have it, you will not be able to access AWS services. Now there are so many services with AWS. There are so many services. So you can see these are some of the services offered by AWS. But what we are interested in is EC2 instance. So we are going to create an EC2 instance. I've already used EC2. It's here. If you don't find it here in the recently used services, you can just search for it, EC2, and then you select EC2, specifically select EC2, and then when you click on it, it will take us to the interface that's going to enable us to create a virtual machine that has Windows installed on it. Now when you scroll down a little bit, you just have to click launch. So we're gonna launch. I want to launch an EC2 instance. So my connection is a little bit slow, so please bear with me. Now as you can see, we are provided with an interface that we're gonna use to launch an EC2 instance with Windows operating system installed. Now we can name our virtual machine whatever we want. Let's call it Windows or anything. There is no standard procedure to follow. At this point you can scroll down and then select the type of instance you want to deploy. For us, you can deploy Amazon Linux, you can deploy macOS instance, you can deploy Ubuntu, you can deploy anything, but for this case we are going to select Microsoft, which is Windows. So we can select Microsoft, then scroll down. As you can see, my account is a newly created account, so I'm eligible to have the free tier instance. But since Windows is kind of resource hogging, I'm capable of using the free tier package, but I just wanna select a better instance that's gonna make sure I have a seamless performance for my instance. So what I'm gonna do, I will come here to compare instance and try to find a better instance for my machine. As you can see, you can choose the T2 micro instance. They give you one of your virtual CPU core and 1 GB of RAM. But since this is Windows and this resource hogging, I'm probably going to select I can select T2 large. You can select anything based on your budget. So if you want to see how much you're going to pay per instance, you can select an instance of your choice, and then try to scroll down and then try to see how much you're going to be charged. So when you try to find the instance that you have selected, as you can see, if you're going to run Linux, they're going to charge you $0.046 per hour. That's the amount of money they're gonna charge you. But if you're going to deploy Windows using this instance, they're going to charge you $0.0644 per hour. So it depends on the type of instance or the type of machine or the size of the machine that you want to deploy. If you have a bigger budget, then you can select an instance that you want. If you want a GPU optimized instance, you can just search for G4 for G4 instance families. G4 instance families, all these are GPU instances. These are GPU optimized instances. So if you want to to run live streaming infrastructure on AWS, or if you want to set up a cloud-based gaming environment on AWS, you can select these the GPU optimized instances. But to warn you or to remind you that these instances are actually expensive to run. You may end up spending hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars per month when you select any of these instances. But if you just have a one-day project, you just want to run a simple project for a few hours, or maybe you want to stream for a few hours in high quality resolutions, then you can select these ones, and then after that you delete them. That's the beauty of running cloud infrastructure on platforms like AWS. But for our case, I've decided to select maybe let me select one with 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of memory. Now after selecting this one, then I will select the instance type, and as you can see, the details of the machine I'm using in this case, we have 4 virtual CPU core and 16 GB of memory. I'm also running Windows, so they're gonna charge me $0.2266 per month, per hour, sorry. So after that, the next step is to create what we call a key pair. This key pair, we use it to log in. We also use it to create a password for our Windows instance. Now, because I already have a key pair, but I can just create a new one for this tutorial. So you can create a new one and say, I'll just call it Windows. I'll create it Windows and select PEM, and then I'll create it. So it's actually here downloaded. It's windows.pem. So we will need this key pair to decrypt the password for our Windows machine login. Now the next step is to create a security group. If you have already an existing security group, you can select it, but for this case, since it is just a walkthrough tutorial, let's just create a new one. Let's select create a new one and make sure you allow RDP traffic, because this is a Windows instance. We have to access the machine using RDP or remote desktop access or protocol, something like that. Make sure you can select anywhere, so this one means anywhere, or you can select custom or your IP address. You can select your own IP address or anything, but for this case we will select anywhere, meaning that we can access our machine or log into our machine from anywhere, regardless of the location or the machine we are using. Now the next step is to check if the space, the storage, the disk storage is enough for you. For this case, this is an example tutorial. We can select 30 GB, but if you want more storage space, you can increase. You can increase any space you want. But the more you increase the space, the more you ask for more space, the more money you're likely to be charged. So you should take note of that. The next thing, these are the crucial details you basically need. Let me walk you through once again. When you come, you select the Windows or any instance you want, any operating system you want. Then you can select the specification, the type of the instance you want to run. So for me, I've selected the T2 extra large. So I'm selecting this one with 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of RAM. They're going to charge me some money per hour once the instance starts running. So you have to take note of that. But I'll definitely delete this, and it's not gonna run because this is specifically for this tutorial. Now after that, you have to create a key pair, which we shall use to create a password for our RDP access to the machine. And then after that, you have to create a security group, and this security group will enable us to allow traffic, RDP or remote desktop connection traffic, to pass through our server. Now after that, you can also increase this disk storage that is attached to your machine. If you want more space, you can put more space in GIB, but you're more likely to be charged more money the more you ask for more the moment you ask for more space. Now after that, we shall launch our instance. So what you have to do is to wait as the instance launches. If you've configured everything very well, it is gonna say successfully. So this means that your machine is actually provisioning. So all you have to do is to you have to go to, let's view our instances. You can view our instances and see. So it is the instance status. As you can see here, the instance status is saying the machine is actually running. So this is a Windows instance. We named it Windows, and it is actually running. Now the next thing is actually to right click on our machine and then try to connect. You see, so when you right click, let me repeat this step once more so that you don't get confused. What you need to do is to right click on the machine that you want to connect to, and then select connect. So when you select connect, what we are interested in is to access this machine's graphical user interface remotely using RDP. So we will select RDP. Now when you select RDP, you have to scroll down, and then the first thing you need to do is to download the remote desktop file. So we're gonna download the file. This file has some pre-configurations for the login using our RDP client. So this means that we will not need to insert in the public DNS. We can use the public DNS of our server, and the username of our server is administrator, to log in using our RDP client on the local machine. But to save ourselves time and the energy and things like that, we can just download the configuration file, and that is all. The next step is actually to generate the password. So we're gonna generate the password for the machine so that we are able to access it using our RDP client. So we're gonna click generate the password, and after that, remember we created a key pair that we need to use to generate the password. I hope that you remember the key pair we created. So what we need to do is to find that key pair, which we named it windows.pem. So we will locate this key pair, which is located in the download folder. Then we will browse to the download folder, or from wherever you've actually stored your key pair file, and then you select Windows. So when you select the file that you've actually named, you find the key pair file that you stored on your machine. So you select it, and then you select it. We're gonna use it to decrypt the password for the machine, so you can decrypt. So as you can see, now we have the password. I'm not actually afraid of showing you the password for this machine because I'm gonna delete it. So if you try to log in, you're gonna be surprised. All right. So the best thing to do is to copy the password, and then maybe fire up. You open Notepad somewhere on your local machine, and you can open the Notepad on your local machine and paste that password there. And then you can save the password because you don't want to lose it, maybe to lose access. But you don't have to worry. If you lose this password again, you can go back in your AWS console and regenerate another password using the same key. So it's not a big deal. I'm gonna name this password pass, which is not a good idea to name your passwords. Make sure I always save the passwords in a safer place, or use a password keeper, something like that, and don't expose your passwords because it is risky. Now the next step is actually to access our machine. We've deployed the machine and it's actually running, so the next step is to deploy. How do we do that? Remember the file we downloaded? We downloaded RDP file, the remote desktop file. So it is this one. This is the file that we downloaded. Now what we need to do is to click on the file that we downloaded, the RDP file we downloaded. So that file is gonna launch. It's gonna help us to connect to the machine. So when you click on it, it is actually asking us to put, as you can see, this is the public DNS address of the instance we deployed. This is it. Alternatively, you can get the public IP address of your machine and use it to log in. You don't have to use this address. You can also use the public IP address of your machine on the server and then log in. Now, because this is the password of this machine, you just have to copy it, or you can just come here and copy it anywhere from anywhere you've stored your password, and then paste, and then maybe say remember me, so you don't have to keep on pasting the passwords there, and then click OK. Now this always happens when trying to log in using RDP. Don't ask me again, and you wait for the machine to connect you to your server. As you wait, you can sip your coffee and stuff like that as you get logged in. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, our machine is ready for us to use. It's actually ready to use. As you can see it, we can use it for anything we want. We can use it for anything we want. We can use it to browse. You can use it to browse here. You can use it to download anything you want. So without wasting any more time, basically this is how you launch, or this is the easiest way to launch a Windows virtual instance on AWS. You just go through a few steps and that is all. No bullshit, no technicalities, no expertise needed. You just have to follow the steps that you've seen in this video and then launch your instance. You can use this instance to do anything you want, even including using it for video gaming, for live streaming, for video editing and stuff like that. As long as the instance has enough computing power to use all those applications, then you can use it for anything you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you've liked this video, and I request you that please help me to subscribe to this channel so that it can motivate me more to keep creating content about tech, about cloud computing, about servers, about applications, about programming, about everything, about AI. So please come back again and watch these videos as I keep putting more and more content. Please subscribe. See you again. Thank you.